in 2 weeks' time. Extended highlights coming up later on Scott Sport. Highlights now here on Scott Sport with our match commentator Archie McPherson.
The league title won, only the cup left to play for, but you really need to be here to realise there's no such a thing as a meaningless Old Firm game. This is still very serious business. And with Celtic in pursuit of another record, the old enmities are as raucous as ever they have been, despite the fact that off the field recently, the Old Firm politically have been acting as bosom pals. This is the injury-affected Old Firm match, of course, as you can see from that Celtic lineup. Tommy Boyd in his last ever Old Firm game in central defence with a fit Mulvey and Craney beside him. Hartson and Larson up front, of course, and in midfield, Lubo Moravcik played from the start his last game against the great rivals with Petrov on the bench. Nothing to do with sentiment, it's just that Petrov is back recently from a midweek game in New York. 6 main players out of this Rangers team, resulting in a makeshift look especially about midfield in front of Ross, Amoruso and Malcolm. At the back is Kanchelskis, Nellinger, Newman, and the man who was sent off last season here, Fernando Rickson. Latterby plays just behind Lobenkrantz and Tor-André Flo, for whom this might also be a farewell to the Old Firm. The referee today is Kenny Clark. Well, both managers, I think, have been stressing the fact that this has no relation to the Scottish Cup final, this game, which is just around the corner. As the whistle goes immediately, 10 seconds gone, the first free kick, Bob Malcolm there into Henrik Larsson. As I was saying, bears no relation because, as you can see from these team lists, I think it will be different personnel in that final. Nevertheless, this game, this fixture and this tradition is part of a psychological make-up of both sides, and that's just taken away. Kanchelskis under pressure there, Moravcik goes with him, now Latterby. Free kick, 2 free kicks in the first minute. There we are, that sets the tone for the rest of the afternoon. Malcolm to take this. Just beyond and into Lobenkrantz. Trying a shot and goal, it's in! Rangers have scored! Peter Lobenkrantz, I think there was a deflection. A stunning start by Rangers in this game. Weakness in the Celtic defence on the right-hand side. And Lobenkrantz, who scored against Celtic the last time he was here, rattles the ball into the back of the net. Watch it. Just deceiving the Celtic defence there. There may have been a deflection as Mjolby tried to come in on it. And Rangers are 1 up. Just over a minute played. Kloss has to tee that ball up for himself. Beautiful little touch into Latterby. Then it goes again. Here's Kanchelskis. And it goes to Lobenkrantz. Brilliant tackle there by Mjolby, and Rangers on the counter-attack are looking quite deadly at this stage. Once again, a beautiful ball played through the middle. They have pace on either side, and in comes Lobenkrantz, and there, great challenge by Mjolby, who has had an outstanding season. Pushing going on there, Henrik Larsson trying to come in, and Kloss trying to go in there as well. Feels for a penalty. Now, there was a certain hesitation in that Rangers defence. Goes to Latterby. In comes Kanchelskis. And it goes to Lobenkrantz. Lobenkrantz could have put it in the back of the net. And indeed should have put it there. Brilliant splitting of this Celtic defence again. Nicely weighted ball here. And Douglas came out to make that angle very difficult. As Mjolby picked up well, leaving everybody in his wake. I think Newman should get that all the same. Yes, throws it well into Nerlingus, who's been very quiet so far. flow. Bellinger. Lovenkrantz. Using that pace of his. And he says it's a corner kick. Again, he's complaining that it might have been a penalty. Well, the jersey was being pulled. Lovely little flick onto Thompson. Larson, you like this, attacking. Was a beautiful ball, Agat. And that's a corner kick, I think. Yes, Agat persevered there. I thought for a moment he might have given the ball away, but he slid it eventually. Thompson. Away by Ross again. In comes Kanchelskis. Oh, that's a good ball by Emmerich. Away goes Kanchelskis. He's got pace. Latapi is on the far side. There's Latapi. Then goes Latapi. And he's just passed. Tried to flick that away to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper. He measured it well, and Rangers from the start have been dangerous on these breakaways. And try to clip it round. That was very, very close indeed. Amoruso, that's a free kick. And this could be extremely dangerous for Rangers. Caught out right through the middle. Larson over the ball. He may even take it himself. It's Moravchik, and it's just over. He scored so many times from that position, and that just grazed the crossbar. Beautiful effort by the man who was desperate to score in this, his last Old Firm match. Agat. Wide. And then it is the equalizer, Thompson. Lovely little push down to Thompson just before half-time. It's back to level. In he came, that ball played right across the Rangers defence. Played out there. Nobody marking Thompson as he went through. Hearts and takes a great deal of credit for laying that just to the side. Now one each. And we should be in for some game now. To Larson. Ross goes with them. Oh, really a superb strike. It was just a little bit too straight. And there, in fact, goes the half-time whistle, which you could hardly see against this cacophony of noise. Celtic pulling back to make it level. The first goal, an opening goal, coming within a minute. A stunning strike by Lovenkrantz. There may have been a slight deflection on it, but there was no chance for Rab Douglas in goal. And then Rangers relying mainly on counter-attack. Twice could have taken a 2-goal lead. It didn't happen because of bad finishing. And then at the end there was Celtic trying to pile on the pressure. The ball laid to Alan Thompson, who could barely miss from there. And they go in at half-time. Celtic 1, Rangers 1.
Who were the last East Coast club to win a League Cup final?
Well, you can.
Ever wondered what the most...
Well, the evidence of that first 45 minutes is not only is a complete conviction in a game that's supposed to be meaningless, but that some of these players out there are playing for cup final places. Some of the players you might call understudies. And indeed it's been very much a typical Old Firm match in terms of that commitment. Rangers contrasting styles, actually. Celtic with a lot of the ball. Rangers looking very good on the counter-attack, very dangerous. Latapi. Rickson easily away by Mjolby. Morabchik. Well, Rickson annoyed with the referee's decision there, and I think he's just got to accept it, or else he'll get himself needlessly into trouble again. I think Kenny Clark has kept a sensible control of this game. I mean, he's not just simply flashing yellow cards all over the place. And it looks to me as if Paul Lambert is coming off. He certainly took a knock in the first half. I didn't think it was all that bad, but he comes off. I think he must have run onto the pitch, tried to find out in a little sprint if he was capable of carrying on, and he isn't, so he goes off. Well, again, a free kick. I think Amoroso is complaining that Hartson was backing into him. Now, I wonder if Petrov will have a go at this. Stefan Kloss knows only too well what happened at Ibrox. That first game at Ibrox of the season. But they also have Thompson, they have Morabchik. Which one is it going to be? Petrov just on the field, of course. Thompson. And just taken away by Kloss. Brilliant effort there by both players. First of all, the taker of the free kick. Larson trying to guide it in there like a missile. And the goalkeeper getting right across to it. Gat. Thompson. And it also brings, well, he tried to bring it away. He got the intervention. Putting on the pressure again. Brilliant Petrov. Got the impression he wanted to let fly there. Now here's a promising move indeed. It should have been put away. Mjolby coming in. Plays it wide. Rangers not tackling at all well there. And just over from Morabchik. Well, Celtic are taking advantage of some very weak tackling by Rangers. Putting the pressure on, and Rangers just survived. Thompson, scorer of that equaliser, probably challenging Hartson as he came in. Ross eventually does. Hartson with the shot. Well, he's certainly eager to let fly from any distance at all. You wouldn't blame him for chancing his foot that time. Coming off the side of the foot, though. And here's Ronald de Boer about to come on. Now, the talk about de Boer as he replaces Russell Latapi. And he has this broken toe. I think he's getting injections for it. And it's a bit of a risk playing him in this game, but onto the field he comes. There goes to Flo, gives the ball away too easily though. Thompson trying to make tracks, Kanchelska's going back with them. Ooh, that just goes across. Well, the goalkeeper, I thought the goalkeeper had got a touch, but he's pointing for a goal kick. And again, these sudden thrusts by this man, very left-footed, but I think he deceives defenders because he can use a cut inside with his right foot. 20 minutes of the game remaining. I think Michael Moles is going to come on now for Rangers. There's always conjecture about this man's future, Michael. Torandri Flo, and it may be it's the last we'll see an old firm match. You never know. So Michael Mole's coming on now. On now to De Boer. Here's Newman. Not a bad effort by Newman. Remember, he scored a stunning 30-yard goal at Ibrox. And now Guppy is coming on for Lubo Moravcik, getting a standing ovation from the Celtic supporters. His last game at Celtic Park, he has been an enormous influence in his club, and no wonder he gets that rapturous reception. Just puts it inside. Well, a weak run that time. Oh, it's slack play by Rixon. I think he's apologising to his manager for that. Here's Tommy Boyd coming up. Another free kick. Bad challenge there by Amoruso. Well, the number of times Celtic have had free kicks in this area, by the law of averages, there might be time coming for the ball in the back of the net. Henrik Larsson lining up for it. Oh, that's a great save by the goalkeeper. And off the line by Amoruso. And away, that was the save of the day. No question about that. Well, Klaus blundered against Stilian Petrov with a free kick at Ibrox, and he really made amends with that save. Into Lennon. There's an effort at it, and it's a corner kick, I think. Kanchelskis did come in to get that final touch. Very deep in there, that's a great save. And down goes Klaus. Oh, there's trouble here. There's trouble here as Hartson gets involved right at the end, and they're trying to calm themselves down. Mjolby got involved as well, as did Amoruso. Now, what's the referee going to sort out about this? He's brought Hartson across, and Hartson gets a red card. Look at this, almost like a rugby scrum in there. And also Mjolby. And Rixon. Well, it's like battle stations. 3 players sent off in the midst of that melee. A sensational ending to this game, and indeed a scandalous ending to it. Celtic desperate to get that winning goal. Well, this game has had many terrible moments in its history, and that goes down as one of them. It almost turned into a rugby scrum. It came off there, down went Klaus, in they went together, and there's the first push by Rixon, and there's the two getting involved in it, Mjolby. So Rixon stupidly provoking that to start off with. Now, how many are left? Let's do the arithmetic. I think it's 9 against 10. Well, that's a stupid tackle there. And also bubbling to the surface. It has been a restrained game up to that moment. Looking for Alan Thompson. And in fact, the final whistle is gone. Well, almost in an anti-climax there. It ends 1-1, which I think would have satisfied a lot of people heading for the cup final.